Hey guys, Willie and Murfitt here, and in today's video I'm going to replace this knackered swivel hub for this brand new one. So I tried to get ahead of the game by doing a few jobs off camera, and every job I did messed up. So I tried to rebuild the drive shafts and the large circlip snapped. I tried to rebuild the hubs, and well, you can see that the threads stripped off, so I had to order a new hub. The wheel bearing had to get pressed back out, and then yeah, it's a bit of a pain, but we're going to get this rectified pretty quickly. So in today's video I'm only going to show you the one. I'm going to press in the wheel bearing, I'm going to replace the top and bottom ball joints, and I'm just waiting on the locking pin for the top arm. So let's get cracking on. So the wheel bearings are done. It's now time to fit the new ball joints. Now the ball joints that I had purchased had a slight nick in the thread, which is what caused the thread to strip off of the actual old swivel. It went on okay, and when I tightened it down and then took it back off to do the change the shims, that's when it just stripped the thread out. So bit annoying. £65 for a new hub, but unfortunately these things happen and there's no way to get around it. So yeah, here we are again. So I'm pretty much at the point I was a couple of days ago. The wheel bearing's fitted. It's now time to fit the ball joints. So the ball joints itself consist of a few bits of kit. I've got a spacer plate and a bleed nipple. So the bleed nipple goes through there into the hub. On one end I've got a spring. I've got a small plate at the bottom with a cup in it. And then the ball joint itself looks like this. So you've got the cup, the boot, and then the actual pin. So you've got a ball on here, and on the cup it sort of sits in, and that's what you get your movement from. And then you've got a selection of shims as well. So what you do is you shim it up so you don't have any play. Well, you haven't got any sort of loose play like so, and you don't want it so tight that you can't move it, because you've got to take into account that that's going to rotate and turn as your car's driving. So on one side of this hub, as you can see here, they've got a hole. Now that hole is to house this spring, and on the other side it's blanked off. Then I've got the cap to fit in, which goes in like so. And then, before I put that on, just put this plate on. Then you've got two types of plates typically. You've got a plate for disc brakes, and you've also got a plate for drum brakes. The drum brakes here, I've got this lip that hold the brake pipe that goes from one wheel cylinder to the next. So that's quite important, you've got the right ones fitted to your car. So I've got discs on this, so I'm going to put this cap on, and then screw the bleed nipple into place. Finger tight's fine for now. Next I'm going to put the plate on. I'll screw that down. See? Now what we're trying to achieve here is to see how much we need to space this out by. So I've got a socket, which is an 1.5 inch socket, which will go over this. Now, just taking the play out by hand, I cannot move that spline. So that's telling me that is too tight. Take it back out, space it out a little bit, and hopefully take out that slack. So the shims themselves come in a various amount of sizes, starting from quite thick to sort of paper thin. And the best way to tell is to get with one finger and just do this, and you can feel the thickness. So this one here isn't going to bend at all, but this one here will. And when you go further down the line, you get to the ones that are like wafer thin. So you try and space it out and take out that slack. So you can see now that I've done it by hand and I can still move that. That's pretty good. So we'll do this up. So on the ball joint here, we're going to go with 70 to 80 foot-pounds, which equates to 94.1 to 108.8 newton meters. So setting my torque wrench, I've got foot-pounds this side. I'm going to go to 70. You can see there, hopefully that's at the 70 mark along this side here. And if anything, there's maybe a little bit too much play there. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take them out, I'm going to replace one of the thinner shims for a slightly thinner one again, and hopefully that play will reduce. If I can get a little bit less than this, I'll be really happy. Okay. And then with this cap, taking the hammer and then on the flat section of the nut, just hammer that over. So apart from a little bit of grease in the grease nipple, this side here is now complete. So put the boot, the washer and the nut back on, and we'll move on to the other side. See here, you've got a slightly shallower indent, and that holds the cap only. So that goes in like that. And then obviously you put on there as well your cap and your grease nipple. These two holes here are for the steering arm, so that will go like this, and I've got some space to go in there as well. So with that done, let's start putting this all together. Unfortunately, the battery died on the big camera, so I've shimmed this up. I can now move this pretty freely, which is good. So I'm going to put the boot on, the spring washer on, and then the nut back on, and then I get the two spaces out of the existing hub, which are just here, and then I can put the steering arm back on, and in theory, it can go back on the car. In theory being that the drive shaft I have built is for the driver's side. This is a hub for the passenger side, and the drive shaft for the passenger side is missing that circle, as I mentioned earlier. So, bit of a pain, but that's basically how to replace your wheel bearing. I have done another video in a bit more detail on replacing the wheel bearings, which I'm going to leave a link up here somewhere. So I'm going to leave it here for today's video. If you have enjoyed this content, as always, please click the thumbs up button, comment down below, and if you can, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on any future content. So that's it, and I'll see you next time, and hopefully we can get this car back rolling on its wheels. So I'll see you then. Cheers, guys.